Hey guys, Melinda Haynes, license number 102308. I have done a lot of work with foster families, parents, bio parents that have had their kids taken from them and put into state custody. It might be called DHS, it might be called CPS, it might be called a whole number of other things based on whatever state you live in. Now, if that's happened to you, if you have had your kids taken from you, let me tell you some of the tips and tricks and techniques and just, the experiences that I've had in working in this situation. Number one, you will be given the access to your children for visits. They will most likely be supervised. They'll probably be supervised by a social worker that works through the state. Things will be documented. Okay, so things that get documented are things like, did you show up on time? Did you bring anything for the kids? Like, for example, if it's lunchtime or something, or did you bring a snack? Did you bring something that was comforting to your child? So if you used to cook them a certain meal, or they had a favorite stuffed animal that they didn't get to take with them when they were taken by the state and placed in custody, did you bring that and give that back to them so that you're watching out for the interest of your child? Were your interactions appropriate? You don't want to make promises to them. Typically in every state that you're going to be visiting in, they're going to say something like, don't make promises. It's not like, I promise I'm going to have you home, or you're going to have you back home by Christmas, for example. So you don't want to do any of those kinds of promises. If your child asks you anything about it, you would just say, I'm working on it. So you have to stay really generic. You don't want to put anybody down. Do not put the judge down. Do not put the social worker down. Do not put your ex-spouse down. No negative comments about other people. Just, keep it focused on like the here and now of the relationship, of the parent-child interactions in the moment. Okay, now outside of the visits with your kids, you're going to have some tasks to do depending on why your children were taken. You might have to do parenting classes. You might have to do drug classes. You might have to do drug testing. They're probably going to look for things like, do you have a job, or do you have a way to support your children? Do you have transportation to get them, to school from point A to point B, doctor's appointments, and so forth? Is your house clean? Do you have room for them to sleep? Especially room for them to sleep away from other people or other siblings that are a large age. And I think it's usually somewhere around the age of like 5 years difference. So if they're either 5 years younger or 5 years older, you don't want them together in the same room. And if they're of opposite sex, sometimes there's guidelines about that. Like if they're over the age of like 4 or 5, they're not allowed to share with the opposite sex, for example. And you had to check with your plan, with your state, of course, for everything that I'm saying. Oftentimes you'll be given an attorney that's going to fight for you. Your kids will get their own attorney. There, of course, will be some kind of social worker and so forth involved that's going to be checking on you and making sure that you have all your ducks in a row. Now, the thing that's important is, or at least in my opinion and what I've seen, that's important is having the right attitude about it. When you go into it thinking, everybody's against me, these people want to keep my kids from me, and you're kind of fighting with people, or maybe you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, that can work against you. And yeah, you can be a mama bear or a papa bear and like really want to fight for your kids. But when you go in with more of a negative attitude, like, oh, I didn't deserve this, my kids didn't deserve this, this is not fair, then it can be seen as more aggressive rather than cooperative. And you want to be cooperative. You want to be the person that's out there trying to really work hard to get your kids back and to do what's in the best interest of your kids. I promise you, the social workers and the judge and all of society, the foster parents, whoever, they're not out to get your kids. Usually what I've seen from foster parents is, I've got my own kids to raise. I'm just trying to be a nice citizen, or I'm trying to, be a nice Christian, or whatever their motive is. And yes, some people do it for money, but that's another video. But anyway, most people are out there just to do something nice. They're not trying to steal your kids from you in the foster care system or in the social welfare system. So if you cooperate with your social worker, treat him or her with respect, stay in contact with them, see what it is that you can do and what you can be doing better in order to do the right thing for your family. That is what's going to get you ahead. That's what's going to help you learn during the process. I know it's an embarrassing and it's a painful process, but the people who have decided to really learn through it and grow through it and take advantage of all these resources that are given to you during this time, if you take advantage of every single one of them and really work the whole program for your family's benefit, those are the people that I've seen be really successful and not go back into the system. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.